What up? We back, man. We back outside again, man. It's been a long time since we've been outside, man. Been inside for a minute, but we back outside, man. Cat didn't even get a chance to upload a video yesterday, man. Missed my joint, man. But yo, I had a day yesterday, man. I had a day yesterday. When I say a day, I had a day yesterday. And it got me to, let me get back to what I do, man. I'm doing excellent about yourself. I call my brother son because he shine like one. Please believe. Now we can get back to the joint. Yeah, I had a day yesterday, man. The boy had to take one of his whips out to get a recall. Way out, hour and a half away from here. Boy goes up there. Now, I'm gonna have to be truthful because I want this a learning lesson for a whole bunch of people out there, man. Because what I finally came to a revelation, it blew my mind. But this is the reason why you wait to get an answer to why things happen, and that's what this video is about. So anyway, I had to go get a recall on one of my whips. Man, I'm blazing it. I'm blazing it. It takes an hour and a half to get there. I got there in 40 minutes. I'm blazing it. Man, I'm hitting the joint. It's manual. I'm hitting 90, 110 mile an hour. I'm rolling all the way up through. Get there, they go up there, take care of the recall, get back on the highway to go get a little golfing lesson. I'm hitting it. I got some cat behind me who was trying to do some things, so I'm, weaving and doing what I'm doing out there on expressway. Next thing I know, try to downshift, the joint don't go in the gear. Try to upshift, the joint don't go into gear. I'm at 90 miles an hour right now on the expressway flying, and the joint ain't going in gear, man. I'm trying to hit this joint, trying to push the clutch in. It ain't going in gear. I'm like, oh shoot. And I got this dude running up on the back of me. So I'm like, yo, you got to get way over to the freaking side off the road somehow, because I can't move the car no more. You know what I mean? I'm in neutral basically. So I managed to get across the lanes, get on the side of the road. So I called my cousin. I'm like, "Yo, B, my joint ain't going in the gear." He's like, "Yo, maybe you down on brake fluid, the fluid that goes for the clutch." So he's like, "Man, you're gonna have to try to see if you can get to an AutoZone or some of them auto parts place if you can move it." He's like, yo, what you need to do is just pump the clutch about 10 times, put it in the gear, pump the clutch about 10 times, and then see if you can keep it in that gear. And that's what I wind up doing. So I had to put it in fourth gear and drive all the way until I got to, basically I was trying to get to the golf instruction place. So that's what I was able to do. I was able to get in fourth gear, and then when on the side roads, I was able to keep it in second gear. Get there, do my golf lesson, boom. I go to AutoZone, go talk to these cats. They like, yo, man, we don't know where to put it on because the car is made by a foreign car. So they're like, yo, we don't know where to put the stuff at. So then they're like, yo, maybe you can go across the street. They could lift it up and see what they could do from there. Go across the street. The cat's like, yo, I think basically your joint is sealed where you got to have a special tool so that you could put that joint, put the fluid in there. So that ain't going to work. So I'm sitting at this spot the whole entire time, man. I got to call tows. Trying to get tows. I'm 55 miles away from home, so the tow is gonna be crazy. So I'm trying to call, get my insurance stuff set up and stuff like that. Man, come to find out my uncle, man, he's my insurance agent. What the freak, man? He's my insurance agent. This cat, on all my cars, I just found out this cat didn't have no towing on the joint. What kind of nonsense is that? That's family, man. This cat told me that he had the joint on there. So I called, man. They like, yo, you're going to have to pay for it on your own. I'm like, well, that's what the deal is. I don't want to be out here forever. So I had to wait, man. I was out at that spot in that parking lot for 5-6 hours. And then they hit me with the whole towing joint where they were going to try to come out and tow me. And they were like, yo, due to COVID, we can't drive you back. So I'm like, what kind of nonsense is that? You could take my car back, but I got to call for another ride to come pick me up to drive behind you? No, I'm not doing that. So I called my cousin. Cousin got his own towing company. He hooked me up with somebody who can come out there. They came out there, finally picked the boy up, got the boy back home. Cousin comes to where the car's at. He's telling me, yo, man, you don't know what you're doing as far as driving the car. That's probably why the car ain't do what it was supposed to do. He trying to, clown me, trying to say I don't know how to drive a stick or whatever. Anyway, We take the car off the flatbed, put it down. He says, let me get in this car. He gets in the car, man, the freaking gears start working. He shifts it all in every single gear, drives it up the street, up and down the street. I'm like, now get the freak out of here. He's like, man, I told you ain't know what you was doing. I'm like, yo, B, listen, why would I pay hundreds of dollars to have my car flatbedded all the way back when I could have drove it? I ain't a figment of my imagination that I couldn't drive the freaking car. I said even the cat at the Valvoline Jiffy Lube place got in the car and tried to shift it again, couldn't do it. So I'm like, yo, so listen, man, I said maybe something must have happened. Maybe the clutch cooled down or something, or the bumping of the flatbed, maybe it somehow unpinched a line or something, whatever. Anyway, so I'm like kind of upset because I'm like, man, I could have drove the car home, but it wasn't doing that when I was out there. What happened was I started to think like, damn, come on, Almighty, why you have me out there for 5-6 hours, man? Let me back it up. When I was coming home, when the person came to pick me up with the tow, young lady, we had a good conversation. She was telling me, yo, sorry I was late because somebody had an accident. They rolled over, they flipped over on the expressway. So I'm not really thinking much about it. All right, whatever. So like I said, so now I get home, I'm trying to think about why the hell the Almighty would have had me out there for all them hours, basically wasting my time in a freaking parking lot. Started thinking like, he probably was preventing me from something. So I started thinking about, so he couldn't have been preventing me from that accident because I would have been home 5-6 hours ago. So he couldn't have been preventing me from that accident. But then it registered in my head. And I was like, yo, you know what, B? You was wilding out driving to that place to get your recall. And you started wilding out driving back home or driving back to the golf store. And you would have wilded out going back home once you were done with the golf store. So he probably was preventing you to be like, yo, you wilding out right now. You driving mad reckless. Either three things can happen. Either you're going to get stopped by the coppers and you're going to get your license suspended because there'll be a reckless operation, or you're going to injure somebody or injure yourself. 4 things. Or, God forbid, you're going to kill somebody or kill yourself. I hadn't driven the car in a while, man. I got some burners in my garage, man. I drive fast cars, man. So I got some stuff in my garage. I hadn't driven this in probably a year. So I was a little happy, little happy-go-lucky, little Happy Gilmore joint, burning these joints on the street, man. And that's probably what he was preventing me from doing, was causing some type of accident because I was wilding out. Then I'm talking to my man and I'm telling him the story today. And then I thought about it. I remembered looking at my back tire when it was sitting in the Jiffy Lube place. My back tire had lines in it, like deep grooves in there, like cuts in there. And I'm like, yo, you know what? The Almighty was preventing me. I probably would have been gunning it, doing that 90, 110, 120 mile an hour, weaving in and out. I would have probably blew a tire, and I could have been that cat who was flipping over, from what that lady was talking about, who flipped over on the expressway. So the thing is that always think about when you in a situation when something doesn't seem right, or you being held up, or there's a delay or something going on or whatever. And I talked about this on another video before. Think about that there's a reason for that. And I'm thankful, man, because like I said, man, I made a vow to my dad, man, God rest his soul. I made a vow to my dad that if I was going to ever race, I'm going to race on the track. I went against that vow, man, and I was racing on the streets when I shouldn't have been doing that. And the thing is that I could have cost a whole lot of situations going on, a whole lot of families. It could have cost my family, So the thing is that I got to be mindful of that. I got to pay attention to that. Yeah, I'm a cat that likes to get that little energy and them juices flowing, but yo, it could have been something. It could have been a whole nother story. I wouldn't have been on this joint maybe if it would have went the other way. So I'm thankful that the Almighty shut it down, said, nah, B, you ain't gonna be able to drive this car, because what's the coincidence that I get home and then all of a sudden my car starts working, the gears start shifting. I even went back and I drove my car later on in the evening because I had to get my golf shoes, and I put it in gear, drove it up and down the street. I'm like, what the heck? So it didn't work when I was supposed to come home, but it worked when I was at home. So I just say all of that to say that, yo, be mindful, man. I'm human. That's in my blood, that I got them racing genes, man. But I also got to be mindful to pay attention and not do things that a little bit reckless, and I was a little bit reckless, got a little bit too happy, but now I had to pump my brakes like my man BG says, gotta pump the brakes. Yo, gotta pump the brakes when I get in them cars and pay attention. You know what I mean? So anyway, that was my story. That's my story for today. That's why I didn't get a chance to upload a video. But I bid you all a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening. Enjoy yourself, have fun, say please, say thank you, smile, laugh each and every day. Be careful, man. Be careful. Don't let that adrenaline get you going. And I'm not going to say that it's not going to happen. But the Almighty has his ways of shutting that down when you getting a little bit overexcited. And I hope for that for yourself as well, that he protects you enough, he puts his hand on you enough, whether you believe in him or you believe in something else, that they put their hand over you to protect you from making a decision that could cost you or something else, or anything else in this world. You can affect that cause and effect. Know what I mean? So I'm gonna catch up with you on the next one. Peace out.